Hi guys, it's Kay from Sisters on a Budget. Quick non-cash stuffing video this evening. So I've seen a few of the fellow cash stuffers doing the 10 budgeting questions answered. So obviously I watched Future Budgets do hers today, and I watched Rainbow Budgets the other night. So I thought I'd jump on board. Before I start, I just want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Happy to have you. Thank you for, subscribing to the channel, and all the existing subscribers, thanks for coming back. Quick update for this week. I have set up a Instagram page, which I'll link in the description. So yeah, I've connected with a few budgeters on there, so big shout out to you guys. Thank you for welcoming me on the Instagram community. So yeah, let's start with this week. It's a little video, which is the 10 questions answered. So, excuse my post-it notes. I was at work today when I was watching the video, so I just kind of chucked together with what I could. So, good old office stationery comes to the rescue. So, first question, zips or no zips? So, I have both binders-wise. I have zip-up binders and I have non-zip binders. So, which you guys have probably seen me use in both my videos. So, obviously, if you take a look at my binder, so obviously you can see that I have zip binders in here. Just move that out of the way. And then I have non-zip ones for like my purse. I actually prefer zips, just because I like to have a lot of change, and although I like to put it in my purse, if I am, like, for Christmas, for argument's sake, when I was doing Christmas, obviously every pound I had for Christmas was accounted for, so if I got change when I went and bought something, I would put it back into my actual binder. So for that reason alone, I prefer zips. So, second question. What is my currency and what is my favourite denomination? So my currency is obviously pounds, British pounds, because I am English, and my favourite denomination, well, I have two. So obviously I've got my binder with me, so for everybody that isn't a UK resident, I can show you what I mean. So these are what I narrowed it down to. £20 and £5, and the reason being is I love the £20 note because it's purple, it's vibrant, and it's just, yeah, it's quite pretty, isn't it? A £20 note, she says, and doesn't put it on camera properly. But I think that my favourite denomination has to be the £5 note. One, because there's always a shortage of them where we live, and also it's just versatile. It's smaller, it's blue, which is close to my favourite colour, which is green. So yeah, randomly my favourite denomination is a £5 note. I would say 50, but I mean, I never have 50, so I can't tell you that would be my favourite denomination. So, moving onwards. So, excuse my sister shouting in the background. She doesn't know how to be quiet. So, what YouTuber got you into budgeting / cash stuffing? So, actually, with me coming into cash stuffing, that was not a YouTuber initially that got me into it. It was Odette. So, obviously, as you guys know a little bit of history on Odette. She lives up in Scotland and I live down here. We talk on FaceTime quite a lot. And she had told me about cash stuffing because I was telling her how I was saving for the house, and, I needed to find a better way to save, better way to manage my money. So she said, have you heard of cash stuffing? And I said, well, no, what on earth's cash stuffing? It just sounds completely random, doesn't it? So she said to me, you need to watch, like, She's on a Budget and Pinching the Pennies. And I'm like, on what? And she was like, on YouTube. I was like, okay. Honestly, at this point, I just thought YouTube was like, finding videos to create things, as in, like, arts and crafts. Honestly, I'm not technology advanced. Well, I wasn't until recently. So she said, we can make a page, two of us do it together, I can support you. And then, as you guys know, she's had numerous problems with uploading, etc, etc, and she's actually going to try and do a video which she's going to try and post on Instagram, a story, so you guys can see it somehow. And again, we just don't know how this channel's going to work. So it is sisters on a budget, but it is a sister on a budget. So I appreciate you guys kind of sticking with me, obviously, because I know the theme is the two sisters. But anyway, getting back, because I'm waffling as I do every video. So which YouTuber got you into budgeting cash stuffing? So it was Odette, but watching Pinching the Pennies and She's on a Budget was where I started and kind of got the idea of it, etc. Oh, my fingers are mank today. So yeah, that's that question answered. So what's the biggest budget story, debt confession that made the biggest impact? It actually wasn't a YouTuber that I followed, funnily enough. It was somebody I'd seen on TikTok, and her name is Yasmin Camilla. And she had £34,000 worth of debt. And her goal was to clear it off in a year. And she's doing really well doing so. Like, she had a Peloton bike that she didn't need, Virgin credit cards. But she does live in London, so she earns a lot more money. But honestly, that resonated with me because I just thought, I got so hung up on my debt, and I know I should because it's my debt, that I didn't actually think that it could have been worse. You know, it could have been worse. I started my budgeting journey, obviously in 2019. I didn't start cash stuffing until last year, but I started with a credit card bill of £3,500. I had interest rates coming out of the 9s. I had 2 personal loans, and it, you know, I just thought, this is never ending. Partially, a little bit of a backstory is when my ex-partner and I split up, I was trying to keep up with a lifestyle that wasn't possible. You know, I tried to keep up with the Joneses as such. So her budget story, she now cash stuffs. She's really amazing. I think she's on YouTube. Honestly, I haven't actually looked her up, but she is the person that made the biggest impact because she's so positive, and she gets so many people on TikTok that shame her for sharing her debt journey because she has so much debt, because she lives in London and she still likes the nice things. And she just takes it all on the chin. She honestly is such an inspiration because she just takes it on the chin, and she's like, you know what? This is my life. This is my debt. You didn't get me into it, and I'm not asking you to get me out of it. You know, I suppose in a way she could come across as standoffish, but she's really not. And she is such an inspiration. So if you do get a chance, or you are on TikTok, look up Yasmin Camilla because she is absolutely fantastic. So, what sinking fund is my priority? Honestly, I don't really know. Thinking about it, it should be the emergency fund, right? There's kind of 3. It should be the emergency fund, which, as you guys can see, has literally just got £5 in it. It should be the emergency fund, and it will be the emergency fund. One of my goals this year is to save 1,000, isn't it? But I think at the moment, the one that is the most, well, the priority is car maintenance. And that's because that's the next big thing that I need to have done. Swiftly followed probably by, not birthdays, car insurance. They're probably the 2 biggest sinking funds that I have right now that need to be prioritised. And obviously we all know, in all honesty, that this one is the priority, the real priority, because I want to get to the point of smashing that. Anyway, so that is, I say car maintenance is my priority. So, if you won £100 and all debts were clear, would you save or would you splurge? Honestly, the part of me that is this savvy saver wants to say save, because the thought of spending £100 unnecessarily actually makes me feel a little bit sick. So not only have I budgeted for the last 3 years, I've learned that I've kind of given myself that complex of spending money's not okay, and I am trying so hard to get out of that. I've turned into like a frugal human being. My friends don't even ask me anymore if I want to go on a night out, because they know the answer is going to be no. As sad as that sounds, but it will come back eventually. So the answer to this would be that I would save, but if I was also given the option of splitting it 50-50, I would be okay with spending £50 on myself and saving £50, but I don't think I'd be okay going out and straight spending £100. So the answer to that is either I would save it, or if it was an option, make it a 50-50. This one, favourite Etsy shop. Now, I don't really use Etsy, I'll be honest with you. I have a browse every now and again, but obviously I'm a no spend person. And I'm pretty lucky because my dad has a Cricut and he just does what I ask him to, usually with stickers, bless him. So my favourite Etsy shop, and the only Etsy shop that I've ordered from, which is recently, which I can't wait for my new binder to come, is Fuchsia Budgets. So I would say she is, although I have looked up some other Etsy shops, and I've seen that some of you do have Etsy shops, so I mean, you'll all be my favourite eventually, but right now it is Fuchsia Budgets because she's the one that I've ordered from. Right. Which budgeter do you wish would make a comeback? That's got to be TC Budgets. I loved her videos and she's just kind of disappeared. So I don't know where she's gone, but I loved her videos. She was so real, so down to earth, so sweet as well. And she always took the time to comment on the videos, and she was one of the first people that I actually connected with on YouTube. Her and a lady called Budgeting B. She was brilliant. She was from up north, and she was one of the first YouTubers alongside She's on a Budget and Pinching the Pennies that I actually watched. So it's got to be TC, I think, for me. And then we've got best budget meal. So what a lot of you don't know about me is not only do I enjoy being a budgeter, I have a good following on Instagram under my social account for weight loss. So I actually shed a lot of weight between. So not only did splitting up with somebody do me the world of good for getting my financial life into gear, it also sorted my weight loss life in, out. So I budget meals anyway, and I absolutely love to cook. I actually qualified as a chef out of college. No, I don't do that now. So I enjoy cooking, but my favourite budget meal has to be, hands down, cheeseburger pasta. I love pasta in general. I think pasta is the best kind of budget meal that you can use. But yeah, cheeseburger pasta, because it literally just tastes like cheeseburger and burgers and pasta are my favourite thing. So yeah, that would be that. And then lastly, biggest lesson learned. I have many. As you guys saw on the Instagram page today, I put a post up about saving for a house deposit. If anything, I have, obviously, my biggest budget lesson would be I spent so much money on absolute tosh. And the fact that I would just not care what I spent money on. Before budgeting, you'll laugh, I used to be afraid of checking my bank account. I used to use my debit card like a gift card. I used to just tap it and hope for the best. I would never check my bank account. You could have scammed me and I wouldn't have known about it because I was terrified of seeing that overdraft. I was sat in that overdraft month after month after month after month. Letters from the bank, phone calls from the bank, and I just couldn't see a way out. So the biggest lesson learned probably was to check my bank account daily. Now I do it every day. But it was to know that I could be financially independent. Now, with my ex-partner, I became financially dependable on him, even though I had my own job. I became financially dependable on him. So my biggest lesson learned was that I needed to check my bank account and that I spent far too much money. And the biggest life lesson learned was I'm independent. I'm an independent person and I am financially independent. I'm still single right now, and if I meet somebody, one, they're going to be in for a shock because they've probably never met anybody as frugal as me. But two, that it's okay. If anything was to happen, that I could stand on my own 2 feet. I moved home at 28 years old, head in my hands, said to my parents, I've made a mess of it. I need a second chance. Not that they needed to give me a second chance, but I needed a second chance at adulthood, I suppose. And obviously, parents do, mine opened me with welcome arms and said, we're here to support you. And honestly, I wouldn't be half as good off as I am now if it wasn't for them letting me just be here. But yeah, and I kickstarted it again. When somebody tells me that I cannot do something, I will do it just to prove to you that I can. I am such a determined person. And that's one of my strong characteristics, is that I'm determined. I'm confident. I don't back down. You know, I'm very much a go-getter. And I was told, you'll never have your own house. You'll never have this. Watch me. Watch me, because I will. So my biggest lesson learned was definitely how to stand on my own 2 feet. And I have waffled now for probably the best part of 15 minutes. So thank you for watching the video. I look forward to seeing more of you doing the questions, 10 budgeting questions answered. And again, have a great week, and I'll check in with you guys on Sunday as usual. So yeah, thank you. Bye.